Hello everybody, today we're going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 8 of this series, and if you didn't see the last episode, then you definitely need to go see it because there are a bunch of spoilers on this map. But basically, a quick recap, and sorry if you could hear my dad mowing in the lawn, sorry. Basically what happened last episode was the Brown team expanded a little bit. Of course, they're very pacifist. But these guys are not, so a bit of tension's beginning to rise between these two. We saw the Greeks and the French meet up, and I think it was last episode that the Diamond Alliance was formed. I don't know. Oh yeah, Europe and Asia are now connected, so bit of stuff happening here. These four nations are still like trying to kill each other. Of course, the blue team collapsed. There were 6 new nations that were released. And the red team, I never really explained what happened after the blue team, like how nations react. The red team is, of course, like celebrating in the streets. They're extremely happy about this. The lime team doesn't know what to say. The Koreans don't really care. They never really cared about the blue team. Only like a few Korean troops went over there. I doubt many. The green team is honestly not that sad, as they have a chance to possibly expand their influence and become the true Indian power, instead of being seen as the underdog of India and like the weakling of India. I would be willing to say they're the strongest Indian nation, but I haven't really updated their major cities. And yeah, I've already been recording for 2 minutes, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with today's episode. Now we're going to be starting off with the yellow team, as the yellow team hasn't really done much, ever. And there is a good reason for this, as their government has just recently moved, as there is a brand new major city on Lake Victoria. Well, there are multiple major cities, as well as a few that will pop up over here. They are very populated, because like this area in real life is one of the most populated regions in the world. Uganda is. It's like the same population density as the Ganges River and the Brahmaputra. Yeah. But yeah, and there's actually a bit of debate over where the capital should be moved. About like 20% of the let me draw this. So about 20% of the people in the nation think it should be right here. About 15% think it should be about right here. Wait, hold up, wait. I'm actually going to say about 40% of the people want it to be right here. About 37% want it to be right here. It's rough estimates. I'm not doing math. 20% right here. 10% right here. And so that's 40, 37, so that's like what? 77? 97. Yeah, it's there are a few people. I don't like math. But yeah, most of the people do think it should be right here or right here. But because of this debate, there's actually going to be a few rebellions. And well, first of all, we need to see where the capital will be moved. The capital will actually be put right here, despite the majority of people wanting it to be right here. And this is going to lead to a bit of rebellions, mainly on the coastline actually, as well. Of course, they are being neglected now. The capital used to be here, and so people that want the capital to stay here are going to begin to rebel away from the yellow team government. And like, they're being neglected. This is like the old place, like they think that, hey, since we were the first, we should be the best. And however, they are just like, there's like not even like 10% of the population is here. It's all on Lake Victoria and the surrounding areas. And yeah, basically all of Somalia and Kenya, well, the entire Somalia and Kenyan coastline will fall. However, the southern coastline is pretty loyal to the yellow team government, so they will stay with the yellow team. This rebellion will expand to be like all around here. We're gonna see kind of like a Dark Cyan rebellion pop up on the western coastline of the Lake Victoria, taking over all of this, heading into the Congo even a little bit. And yeah, this is the initial front line. And of course, the yellow team is not a weak nation. They are pretty strong. Well, in the grand scheme of things, they are a weak nation, yes. I hope you can see that. I can see it. They are going to begin to invade into this rebellion, as this is the weaker, no, this is the stronger rebellion. These guys are weaker. This is why, like, well, this major city is more populated than all of this combined. It's very confuzzling. Let me see. Yeah. We are going to see the yellow team launch an invasion of the Somali rebellion, as there's a little population here, but a lot of the population here does, of course, want to leave. So the yellow team will be able to push deep inside of here, but the purple team will be able to push back, with them beginning to take back their coastline and reaching the yellow team border and beginning to invade into the yellow team. Now, because of this, the people of the yellow team are going to get very anxious, and even more people are going to begin to rebel. For example, there is going to be a green rebellion up here, and because of this, we are going to see that the cyan team will be able to get their troops back, their land back, and they will be able to focus all of their troops on the southern front line, being able to push back the yellow team and launching an invasion of them. So there we go. And actually, a huge blow to the yellow team government is going to be a rebellion down here, as this area is very loyal to the government. But, well, they decide that, hey, we just need to get out of this war before anything bad happens to us. And this will lead to the purple rebellion being able to take back all of their land. And the yellow team is solely on the defensive now, with all of the rebellions beginning to invade into their territory. We will see the red rebellion beginning to head throughout the south. The green one actually managing to expand despite being very weak. They're the weakest nation in this rebellion, inside the Civil War, I should say, And the cyan team is very militaristic, actually, and they're going to get right on the outskirts of the yellow team capital, and the yellow team is going to be like, you know what? Y'all can take all the land that you want, just let us live, and the rebellions here are going to let that happen, so we can see what the yellow team will look like after their civil war. And this is what the peace treaty will look like, with 4 new states being released from the yellow team. The strongest nation leaving this war is actually the yellow team. They are still the strongest nation, but they are closely followed up by the dark cyan team, then the purple team, red team, and then the green team. Now let's go head over to the red team, as they are very happy about the blue team collapse, and they are going to decide to invade the gold team. And of course, the reason for this is they want to reconquer old lands that were taken from them inside of the Great Asian War. And well, they're actually going to very quickly head throughout the gold team, as of course the old government is still here, and well, the people of the red team are actually the people of the red team like this government. They love expanding. They are very expansionist people. They have a very militaristic mindset. They want to become the great power that they used to be. They want to take over all of the old red team land. They want to recreate their old glory as the great red team empire. And they are going to show this off by invading the gold team. However, the gold team is not a pushover. They are a fairly mediocre nation. They are not the weakest. They are not the strongest. And, well, they're going to be able to push back the red team. They are weaker than the red team, but not that much weaker. What are the power rankings? Are the red team top 5? Yeah, I would say, like, the gold team is, like, around number 7. And, well, they are just going to, like, push back each other on multiple different front lines, even managing to encircle a bunch of red team troops. And, well, they will all be captured as POWs, as the gold team is pretty people-friendly, and the red team's troops will get separated here. However, they will be able to push back, eventually taking over all of this land, and eventually it'll just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, until eventually the front lines will look something like this, and the red team will realize that, hey, we can't go any deeper into the gold team. They have 2 good defenses, and might as well have a peace treaty. So we can look at a peace treaty to this war. And this is what we see the peace treaty looking like, with the red team annexing a bit of the southern regions of the gold team. It is not much, but it is still an upgrade, as now they don't have like this giant piece in the middle, and they do have a new major city. And the people of the red team are extremely happy about this. We're going to be heading over to Anatolia, as we're just going to see these nations eventually taking over the rest of the peninsula, with the Greeks taking over all of this. I don't know what to call these guys, I guess just the East Mediterranean nation. Yeah, Eastern Mediterranean will take over all of this land right here. And we will see the Ukrainians taking over the rest of Anatolia, with Anatolia officially looking like this. We are actually going to be seeing wars inside of the Mesopotamian regions, as we're going to see the red team launch an invasion of the kind of, what color are these guys? They're like a yellow-green nation. These guys are not the most stable. They are pretty weak. They are like the weakest Mesopotamian nation, I would say. They are the most populated, actually, but they are the weakest. Government-wise, they're very unstable. And we are going to see the East Mediterranean nation launch an invasion as well, taking over the western regions. And the reason for this war is just to become the sole Mesopotamian power. They want to take over the entirety of Mesopotamia. And the green team, I was going to call these guys the green team, I'm sorry. The green team and the red team are trying to one-up each other. And we're going to see the pink team actually begin to invade. And well, they're not strong, they are pretty weak, but they are not the weakest. And they will launch an invasion as well, beginning to head towards the capital city, actually. Until eventually the red team will manage to take over the rest of the nation, except for the south with the green, which the green team will be able to take over. So we can look at a peace treaty to this war. And this is what we see the peace treaty looking like with the Persian. Oh no, these are the Persians. I'm just going to say these just East Mesopotamia, South Mesopotamia, West Mesopotamia. There we go. So yeah, East Mesopotamia will annex all of this land right here. It is the most economically beneficial regions of the Yellow Lime team. West Mesopotamia will annex all of this. And South Mesopotamia will get very little land. Look at that. Would you be happy if you got that much land when you fought a war? Probably not. Now heading on to Europe, all of Italy has been discovered, but Sicily and Sardinia have both been discovered. And well, basically the entirety of mainland, the entire Balkans have been discovered. And there's just the Alpine Mountains that are left. But eventually, I will say that they will be discovered by these nations. As well as Iberia will be fully discovered, as a giant technological wave has just hit the Europeans due to connection with Asia. And they are now able to discover a bunch of land. The Ukrainians are heading up is this the Zagreb River? Zagreb? I'm pretty sure. I think that's a capital, actually. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this river starts with a Z. Not 100% sure. But they will be able to discover a lot of land. As basically, all of mainland Europe has been discovered. They will even discover Morocco and Algeria a bit, as well as Tunisia, Malta, and a few other Mediterranean islands. So yeah, we will see France take over all of Iberia. Let me color this in. They will also take over the Balearic Islands, as well as Corsica and Sardinia. They will take over all of this land right here, mainly sticking away from the Alps. Basically, the Italian peninsula will be split in two between the Greeks and the French, with it looking something like this. We will see the Greeks take over the rest of the Italian peninsula, as of course they can't take over as much land, but they will take over some land, as well as heading into the Balkans. An insane amount, but they will take over a lot of the Balkans, as I just said a million times ago. That made no sense. But yeah, they will take over all of this right here. Why are San Marino and the Vatican are shown on this map? No. However, Sicily will be its own independent nation, with it looking something like this. So there we go. They also own Malta. We will see the Dutch expand a little bit, however, they do not like to expand that much. They're actually mainly focusing on Great Britain, and they should probably have a lot more major cities there. Yeah, By the way, I don't know if I said this, but the Diamond and Triangle alliances, they're not rival alliances. They're just alliances to help each other, and they don't have bad relations, okay? It's just the Greeks and the Triangle Alliance have bad relations, and the Diamond Alliance and the Greeks have good relations, so it's a bit sour relations between these two, but they don't absolutely hate each other. We will see Hamburg take over about all of this land right here, as of course they are getting to about like the most amount of land that they can take over, as they're getting kind of surrounded by nations surrounding them. Getting surrounded by nations surrounding them. What? Brain fart. But yeah, they will take over that. And the Ukrainians will take over all of this land right here. Looking a bit like this. So boom, chicka boom, bop, beam, bop, bow. They are now giants. There will actually be a nation that appears inside the Alpine region. So, like, I guess you could call this guy Switzerland. What was that? Sounded like a kind of like a voice crack. I don't know if it was or not. You comment down below if that was a voice crack. Put the timestamp so I know what you're talking about. But there will be an Austrian nation right here. There's an Austrian nation, and there will also be kind of like a West Slavic nation, I guess you could say. They will look like that. Let me change their color. I don't like that. Yeah, I guess this is okay. Yeah, so there's a West Slavic nation, or I guess Hungarian. Let me turn on the real life provinces. Yeah, I would say these guys are Hungary. Yeah, definitely Hungary, actually. We actually need to place down a bunch of new major cities inside of Europe, as basically, like, nobody really has any. There will be multiple new major cities inside of the Greek nation. There will be, like, cities here to, like, get from Italy to Greece. Sicily will, of course, have one. There will be a few major cities inside of Italy, not that many. However, Switzerland's capital will be, well, major city will be on this lake. Major city there, boom bop, beak, bop, boom bop, bow. I think I'm putting a bit much, but I don't care. I like to have lots of major cities on maps. The weird thing about me, I like to put lots of major cities on maps. I just find it cool, and it helps with immersion, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. Fix that, there we go. Yeah, there are lots of major cities inside of France. Not that many inside of Iberia, as of course is just recently taken over by the French. I'll say, yeah, that looks about good. The Dutch will have a few more. I don't know how there's no major cities inside of Britain. There should be like 1 million major cities here by now. Very populated area. Honestly, the most populated area of the Dutch. Hamburg, of course, has lots more major cities now. Specifically inside the Polish regions. However, there are still lots of people inside of Germany. And the Ukrainians, as of course the strongest European nation, have that has a lot of population. There is a, basically like Istanbul or Constantinople. It would be called Constantinople, I guess, because, like, nobody took it over and renamed it. And, yeah, it looks something like this, Europe does. And for capital cities, you see Sicily's capital being right here. We're going to see Hungary's capital being inside of Hungary. Who would have guessed? Austria's capital being right here. Switzerland's capital being right here. However, the Dutch are actually going to be moving their capital city to somewhere else. And this is going to be all the way over inside of England. So, yeah, we can just call the Dutch Britain now. And we can move the military alliance thing to Britain, as these guys have fully rebranded themselves to be the British. And the mainland Dutch are very unhappy about this. They are protesting in the streets like, hey, come back to the Netherlands or we are going to rebel. And they're like, you won't do that. And well, who would have guessed it? A giant rebellion is going to happen inside of the Dutch, and I think I'm actually going to give them one new major city right here inside the Rhine. And there will be a rebellion down here in the Rhine, mainly surrounding this city right here. The main rebellion will be inside where the old capital of the Dutch was. And the Dutch is starting to realize we might have messed up. Because there are just not hundreds, but like I can't really show that on this map. But there are tons of rebellions popping up all over this nation. Like, it is a mess. Nobody likes it here. And because of that, more and more people are going to start to rebel because the government is not listening to them. And we're actually going to see the Swiss begin to invade this territory. And now you might be wondering, well, won't the French come to help them? And well, no, they will not, as they themselves are beginning to invade this territory. And the British, the British are like, dude, what the heck? And they're like, well, free territory. And well, the Diamond Alliance will be disbanded. So yeah, and Hamburg will see this and be like, ooh, free land. And they will also launch an invasion. And yeah, it is just not pretty with I guess what most people would call the predecessor to the Dutch beginning to expand all across here. We're gonna see kind of a like East Netherlands nation, I guess, I don't know. And yeah, the Dutch have completely collapsed inside of the Netherlands and surrounding areas, and now they are solely put to the British Isles. And now we can look at well, it's probably not a peace treaty, it's just like a bunch of overlapping claims and stuff. So we can look at what this will look like. And ready?
Oh, Muffin, you want to come in?
Hey, what are you doing? Scratching under the door?
Yeah, come on in.
You want to be petted?
Hey, don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. Oh, God.
And in the end, there we go. Alright, so in the end, this is what we see the peace treaty, not peace treaty, just the annexation looking like. With these guys' capital being right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. And the French will annex basically Alsace-Lorraine, kind of. We'll see Hamburg annex all of this right here. Oops, there we go. And Switzerland will annex the south. So, yeah, Europe is looking kind of different. It's pretty similar still. And, of course, we need to update this. The Diamond Alliance has been disbanded, but not fully, as a new alliance has been made, and we are going to see it will be made by the French, and we are actually going to see the Swiss join. Yeah, you thought the Greeks were going to join? Nah, the Swiss will join. The French and the Swiss are very friendly with each other. So, yeah. And I have been recording for 33 minutes, god dang. What's the most eventful episode? Of course, last episode, the blue team completely collapsed. So, yeah, if y'all did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and join the memberships if you want. It's only 99 cents a month. And, well, yeah, like, subscribe, join the memberships, hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.